Hello, everybody. This is Jason. I want to make a video today quickly about Joe Mixon, the running back from Oklahoma, who you can go watch a video online if you want to Google it and watch him knock out I think she was 19 or 18-year-old girl. He punched her so hard that literally he broke bones in her face. She hit a table. I thought he killed her when I first saw it. He looked like Mike Tyson in the 80s. I mean, he just looked like he just bow. And this guy's a running back for the University of Oklahoma. Now, he was suspended for a year and now had his what is called a pro day, if you're not familiar. And that means that they go run a 40-yard dash and they do some drills and blah, blah, blah. He wasn't invited to the NFL Combine for obvious reasons, and now I'm having to listen to people like Mel Kiper, who is a piece of shit, in my opinion now. I think all of these guys that are analyzing this are pieces of shit. All of them. ASPN, Fox, you're all pieces of shit. And none of you are going to watch this. I don't really give a fuck, but you're all scumbags. The guy knocked a woman the fuck out. A little girl, a young girl. Don't you have sisters or daughters or friends that are females or loved ones that are females or moms or grandmothers? What the fuck is wrong with you people? And so now he knocks the fuck out of a girl, not a guy. He didn't get into a fucking fight with the guy and just hit him, which would have been bad enough, I'm certain, but you can look the other way because it's two men. He hit a girl. And he didn't just hit her. He knocked the fuck out of her, okay? And it's on video. So this is not an allegation. This isn't, pending charges. You can see him do it. He should be banished from playing in the NFL. If he wants to go get a job at Lowe's or Home Depot or the Canadian Football League or the USFL, or if that even exists, which it doesn't, USFL, the indoor football league, whatever the fuck leagues exist, then he'd maybe go do that. But because the guy runs fast, you're going to let him into your fucking locker room? And by the way, the NFL's family, right? Isn't that the NFL slogan? The NFL's family? Apparently not. We're family up to a point. If you have talent, then we'll look the other way. This reminds me of Ray Rice, but much worse, because Ray Rice still hasn't gotten on an NFL team after he knocked the shit out of his own wife in an elevator, again, filmed completely, you could see it. And it made sense that the NFL would take this tack, these ghouls, these guys that just completely remove their humanity and be like, well, he's at least a second-round draft choice with his 4.43 40 speed. Are you out of your minds? Seriously, are you completely nuts? The guy knocked out a girl on camera. What happens when you give him millions of dollars? You think that rage and anger is going anywhere, or do you think it's going to get worse? Ask Ray McDonald. Ask Greg Hardy. I mean, we could point out the NFL players who have had the domestic violence issues or wife beating, women beating. Domestic violence makes it sound so quaint. It almost makes it sound domestic violence. No, these are men who are 6'5", 6'3", 230 pounds, hitting people who weigh less than 100 pounds. They're bullies. They're vile creatures who have terrible, terrible personalities. I'm sorry for Joe Mixon's family if you watch this or see this, and if Joe Mixon sees this. I'm sorry, bro. You fucked up. We all have to pay for our bad decisions. All of us. And you did it on camera. And what makes it worse is Joe Mixon's bad enough because he's we'll give him a second chance. No. Not when you hit a woman. Not when you do what he did. He didn't just slap a woman, get pissed off. We got into a fight. She started hitting him. He was defending himself. None of that shit. He literally right hooked her ass into a fucking table. I thought he killed her. Go watch the video. It's all over the place. It's viral. And for these analysts to pretend like because he runs fast that he's all's forgiven. Let him. Yeah. And then what's worse is they compare him to Michael Vick. That is the shit that's really pisses me off about this, because Michael Vick, and I'm sorry, I love dogs. I love all animals. I'm a huge cat person. I love dogs. I think animal violence is deplorable. I have made a video about the state that I come from. It's called Abuse of Animals Amidst the Abuse of Animals, meaning we have something called Fur Rendezvous, which is where the fur traders used to get together and trade all their furs. And then we have something called the Iditarod, which is essentially 1,000-mile dog abuse marathon. And I made a video about this years ago, and it's on my channel. So my stance against animal abuse is clear. But Michael Vick did not get caught knocking out a 100-pound girl on camera. He murdered dogs, and that's vile, and that's terrible. But all of these people want to compare Michael Vick, who killed dogs, to a female human. And what they're doing is, it's part of this culture that really doesn't take care of its women. We really don't give a shit. We live in what Robert Jensen calls and Dr. Dines calls and others, Derek Jensen and many others who study this, a rape culture. The woman who wrote, Eve Ensler, who wrote the Vagina Monologues, talks about this. The rape culture. And we don't, grabbing women by the pussy, hey, it's fine, locker room talk. It's all fucking good, right? To abuse women. It's perfectly fine. And comparing it to abuse of dogs, and I love dogs. Michael Vick, honestly, Michael Vick did so much afterwards. He gave tens of millions of dollars to the Humane Society, went around the country, spoke out, made videos, did all this, but he didn't hit a human woman. Do not fucking equate a dog who eats cat shit and its own shit to a fucking human woman. And I'm sorry if you're pissed off about this. I'm sorry if you're like, Jason, Jesus, I love animals. I do too. Animals should not be abused. I hate the Iditarod. I fucking hate it. I've given money to the Humane Society. My sister was a major, I don't want to go into what she did, but personal antidotes, and I hate them. But comparing Michael Vick, and they're like, well, Michael Vick went on this mea culpa tour. Right, but he would have never gotten a chance to do that if he had actually knocked out a girl who weighed 100 pounds. On camera so violently. It wasn't an open hand fist slap. A push, you could even go, okay, he deserves that. He knocked her the fuck out like a professional heavyweight fighter. Guy's 225 pounds. A bully. A nightmare human, right? And I'm having to watch all these people just justify that because he runs fast. Someone's going to get a steal in the draft. First of all, dollars to donuts, nobody drafts him. The NFL isn't that myopic. And by the way, they didn't draft a homosexual from Missouri for this same fucking reason. They had to bring him in as a free agent, or not for the same reason, but because if they draft a proven woman beater, and they didn't draft a homosexual from Missouri who was Defensive Player of the Year, Co-Defensive Player of the Year in his conference. Now Michael Sam has since washed out, but one of the reasons he washed out, he never really got a chance in the NFL. He didn't want to go play in the CFL. His talent level was above the CFL. And he got fucked over because he's a homosexual, and there's nothing but a bunch of homophobe idiots in the NFL. And if the NFL has the temerity, a GM, one of the 32 GMs in the National Football League, has the balls to draft Joe Mixon, they are going to have a backlash with women that they can't even comprehend. And they can take that NFL is family shit and shove it up their asses because they're all a bunch of hypocrite pieces of shit anyway. Ask Ray Rice. By the way, Ray Rice is a good example of this. Ray Rice has not even gotten another sniff with an NFL team. And he was filmed on camera knocking the shit out of his wife in an elevator. I think Joe Mixon is going to have the same fate. Take your fast speed and go run the fuck away from society, you sick fuck. I have never been so pissed off, and I grew up with sisters who I wanted to... I have never, ever punched a woman. Never been angry enough to punch a woman, in a relationship or otherwise. Never. Angry enough to punch a wall. Angry enough to fucking throw something. But never angry enough at them because I'm 6'3" tall, 230 pounds. If I hit somebody, I would fucking break their jaw. And I've been in fights and I can't imagine imposing my will on a female. And he did it like it was nothing. And it was just, and I believe it was over a gay slur because he's obviously a closet homosexual. I don't want to go into detail here, but you listen to him talk, and he's obviously battling with some inner demons. And I think she called him a faggot or something, and he lost his temper, and bam! He should never be allowed to play in the National Football League. Frankly, he should never be allowed to play football anywhere and make that kind of money. I mean, it's up to you. It's up to the individual. Obviously, I don't control any team. But if the NFL drafts him while leaving Michael Sam to waste away and then basically run him out of football because they forced him to go to Canada, that's a downgrade. That's why Tim Tebow doesn't want to go to Canada. That's why Johnny Manziel. It's not real football. Sorry, Canadians. It's not. It's nothing like the NFL. You don't work your whole life in Division I football to go, unless you go to Manitoba or Ontario State or whatever the fuck colleges they have in Canada. You don't work your whole fucking life to go play in fucking Toronto. You work your whole life to play for one of those 32 teams. He doesn't deserve it. This isn't taking his job away from him. This isn't taking his career away from him. There's plenty of retail stores that would love to have you as an associate. There's plenty of construction sites that would love to have you work there. You should have fucking used your fucking brain or just used your morality and not hit a woman. And stop comparing this to Michael Vick. Stop comparing somebody who killed dogs, animals. Dogs are eaten in other countries. I'm sorry, but it's true. To fucking a guy that got caught on camera knocking out a girl that's 100 pounds. Like some monster. I mean, I don't care what you say. I don't care how you justify it, his physical tools, and you should be given a second chance. That's the one thing you can't be given a second chance for. You just can't. And the NFL has a hell of a record with guys like Leonard Little, who killed somebody in a drunk driving accident, and they kept signing him because he could play football. Lawrence Phillips, for Christ's sake, who's now dead, who I believe his cellmate killed him. They just keep giving him chances and keep giving him chances, and all it does is keep giving them money and keep giving them money and enable them to be psychopaths and feeds their own sense of entitlement and mental illness. Mixon shouldn't have no career in the NFL. He shouldn't be drafted. He shouldn't be brought in as a free agent. It doesn't matter how fast he is. It doesn't matter how gifted he is. He hit a defenseless 100-pound little girl, college girl, hit her so fucking hard he broke bones in her face. Do you know how hard you have to hit somebody to break a fucking bone in their face? And she hits the table, man. You think she's dead. Go watch the video. It's fucking... Don't watch it if you're squeamish. It's that bad. And this is coming from me. That is the one thing I just can't, and I'm watching these analysts like it's, well, you know, he's a second round draft choice. No, you should not even be analyzing him. You shouldn't have even acknowledged his pro day. He should have been a pariah, ignored, and just moved on to another fast guy who can catch a ball and run through other homunculi, run through other troglodytes. There's plenty of fucking people out there, plenty of talent out there. You don't need to bring Joe Mixon into fucking in the mix after what he did. It's amazing. And if any NFL team drafts him, God help him, because the women's rights advocates will be all over. And it will be a bad look. And his life will be miserable, whatever city he goes to. The NFL, and I personally do not believe he's going to be drafted. I think somebody will bring him in as a free agent, maybe. They may even wait a while, maybe a year. And his career will be over then anyway, because you don't really sit out of football for a year or two and then have much of a career. In fact, if he was drafted, he probably wouldn't make the team anyway because he hasn't played any year. I don't care how fast you are. It's the live game action that really matters. If you ever play football, you know what I'm talking about. So, Joe Mixon has absolutely no business making millions of dollars and being rewarded for knocking out a girl. And the University of Oklahoma should be ashamed of itself for keeping him around as long as they did. They finally suspended. Bob Stoops is a ghoul. They're all ghouls. Like, what the fuck do you have to do to not be rewarded for your ability to run fast? You sick fucking people. And I'm talking to Mel Kiper and Todd McShay and a couple of people. I heard them be sensible, but like Max Kellerman, what a fucking sick fuck he is. Like, what a weird fuck. He's friends with people like Dana White, though, so what do you expect? I mean, these people are fucking psychos, man. They're just nuts. Sports somehow supersedes society with these people, and I'm unclear how that works. Don't you have a sister? Don't you have a girlfriend or a wife or a daughter or a grandma or a female friend? What if they did that to you? What if Joe Mixon, what if that little girl was your fucking sister or your daughter or your mom or your cousin? You would want to kill Joe Mixon. But it wasn't, so fuck it. She's just some girl who did. So what? She deserved. I mean, how do you justify it? The guy's a fucking evil fuck. He didn't just make a mistake. He made a grotesque mistake. He let his rage overwhelm him with a girl. What do you think's going to happen when he gets millions of dollars? What do you think is going to happen when he gets rewarded and thinks, oh, you know what? I hit this, knock the shit out of this bitch and hey, just fuck this girl, fuck this bitch, fuck this bitch, fuck this bitch. And I keep hearing that shit too on all the comment section. They keep referring to as these guys who get on here who obviously have either hate women so much that they refer to them as female dogs over and over and over again, as if she deserves it, as if it was like there was some, he's a football player, he runs fast, so obviously, we got to fuck him. And if the NFL is dumb enough to draft him, then whatever team drafts him or whatever team he goes to, that team should be the least favorite team of America, and everybody should go after them. Stand-up comedians, social critics, etc., etc., etc. Because this shows that nobody has a right to play in the NFL. Nobody has a right to go and make a living making millions of dollars running with a football. It's a fucking privilege. And his privilege should be revoked. Period. You don't do what he did on camera. And if it wasn't on camera, I know what you're saying. Well, if it wasn't on camera, but it was on camera. See that? So that reality doesn't exist. What did Shannon Sharp say? If is the biggest word in the world. If it wasn't, well, it was. So we know what kind of a man he is. You ask yourself at 19, did you ever hit a woman? Did you ever hit a 100-pounder? Did you ever hit a 100-pound woman? Did you ever beat up a smaller man? Much smaller person? Did you ever beat up a child? Oh, man. And to compare him to Michael Vick, who as awful as what Michael Vick did, it was dogs. Do not equate a dog to a female human. It's like we don't have any propriety. It's like we don't understand. It's like you don't get it. I mean, most people do get it, but the homunculi who enjoy the NFL apparently don't. And I enjoy this. I love football, to be honest with you. I played it. I love it. I love it. I love watching it. I still do. I know it's CTE and all this shit. Believe me. But this Joe Mixon thing, man, this is shocking to me. And Mel Kiper should be being like, I wouldn't draft him. I wouldn't take him. I don't want him. I don't like him. With my bad hair, with my hair that my wife cuts. I'm a multimillionaire. For some reason, I still let my wife cut my hair. I would have said, there's no way anybody should draft this guy. And instead, they're like, yeah, second round talent. Yeah, projected as a second rounder. Fucking evil, man. What are you fucking? Do you have no spine? Like, is it to take a stand against a guy who knocked out a 100-pound, 18-year-old, 19-year-old girl? Don't you have a conscience? Don't you have a daughter? God, fuck. And then to equate it to Michael Vick. As if killing dogs are the same as knocking the shit out of a human woman. Or what Michael Vick, oh, well, he needs to go on a mea culpa tour like Michael Vick. What is he going to, maybe he can learn from this. What can Joe Mixon learn from this? Tell me, exactly what can he learn? Not to hit women? He had to learn that as an adult male? Get the fuck out of here with your hypocrisy and shut the fuck up, Mel Kiper, you stupid bitch. Thank you for listening.